here, and it's Thanksgiving time, so I've got my Thanksgiving apron on here. And I have a sweet potato souffle that my friend Britta, hi Britta, she did this for me back in Wrightwood, California years ago. Fell in love with it, found out it called for 2 cups sugar, and so I have converted the recipe, and everything is optional, of course, in all of my recipes. So you need to have on hand, I use fresh yams, sweet potatoes, or you can use canned, milk, honey. This is a great time for you to use up any granulated honey that you have, eggs, butter. I like real butter, I'm from Idaho, of course. That's the main ingredients for our casserole souffle. The topping will take brown sugar, honey again, cinnamon, nutmeg, pecans. I chop these up, and cornflakes with a little bit of marshmallow broiled on top of it. Now the one thing is I'm going to half this recipe because there's very few of us at home anymore. But for a large crowd, it would be 9 and 13, I will give both measurements so you can do either one. So let's get cooking. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our yams and we're going to cut them into like quarter size. I'll boil them until it's tender enough that the skins just slip right off. Then I will mash this up with my other ingredients, and I'll tell you how much of each of those things. Off with my bare hands, and I actually am going to mash them with hand because I don't like to use a lot of dishes. I like to save on dishes, so I'm going to be mashing these and at the same time melting the butter by mashing these in here. And I learned the difference between yams and sweet potatoes. This whole time I've been mixed up. So a sweet potato is your darker, smoother skin, whereas the yam is your lighter one and it has a rougher skin. This whole time I thought I was eating yams and I was eating sweet potatoes. That's actually my favorite, which I told everyone was yams, but that's not the truth. So you mash this up, and in here I'm going to put, along with this mashed up, I'm going to put 1 egg, which that's 2 if you're making the bigger casserole. And I'm going to put half a cup of honey in here. See, it does call for a lot of sugar, doesn't it? And I've got my granulated in here, so that's one way to use that up. If you've got some of that on hand. Honey never goes bad. And then you put in here a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Of course, I did half of that, so it'd be an 1/8 of nutmeg and a 1/4 of, let's just try on my math, and an 1/8 of nutmeg. So there you go, the milk, and we mash that. And then we are going to bake this souffle in a 325-degree oven. Because it's honey, you gotta watch it carefully so it doesn't burn. And we're gonna bake it for almost an hour, but not quite because we've got a smaller casserole dish. For sure you'll do an hour with the larger 9 by 13. So let's get that baking. Oh, if I tell you, I boiled it for 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know if I told you that. So there's what it looks like, all mashed. I'm gonna put this in my warm oven and bake it. Because it's a smaller dish, not quite an hour, so I'll kind of watch it to see when it's getting about looking baked. And I'm gonna make my topping. You can double the topping even from what goes to the 9 by 13 to make a crunchier, yummier topping. Okay, while the souffle is cooking, because you want it cooked very well, we're gonna make the topping. And remember, you can double this, and all it takes is, this is 1/3 cup of butter. So if you're doing the whole thing, it's actually 3/4 of a cup. So I got the butter in there, and I use, of course, the granulated honey. This is your chance. Go back and watch my video on how to get that softened up to use. And I had a whole 5 pounds. It's almost all gone because I've been using it in cooking. So that's awesome. And then I put in an 1/8 cup. That was an 1/8 cup of honey, an 1/8 cup of brown sugar, and we mix that. This is gonna go on top of the souffle, and it's gonna bake a little longer. So I'm getting that really mixed in, and of course, about a fourth a cup of pecans all chopped up. That will go on top. Oh, forgot. Cornflakes, it says about a third a cup, and I think that, and you just want to cup it with my hands like that. So I do about 2 handfuls. I've got kind of small hands, so you know what you want. And I just kind of eyeball it how I want it. My family likes the cornflakes on it. I put a lot of cornflakes on different things. Just the flavor. All right, so we're gonna top the souffle when the timer goes off. So the souffle is ready. For the topping, I wait till it kind of starts boiling, like these little bubbles around here. And I've got the topping ready to put on. Alright. So you, like I said, you can double this, but this is just about perfect for how I like it. You just spread it around. And I think this is the secret that makes this really very yummy. Even people that don't like sweet potato like this. And we'll put this back in the oven and bake it a little bit longer. And then we'll do the marshmallow part. Boy, it smells really good. So you wait till it turns golden brown, and you can or cannot add marshmallows. I do because my family really likes marshmallows. Just, you gotta watch them so they don't burn, because I have set a fire before when I was talking, so I'm not gonna talk while I'm putting these under broil. It usually does it in less than a minute, and it's all ready. So I will broil these for 1 minute, pull it out, and then we'll taste it. Here's the finished product, all brown. So be sure to subscribe to my channel, share this with other people, and check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I put the recipe down below in the details, and also on Pinterest. Did anybody find the bee? There it is, grandchildren. And that sweet potato souffle.